Right then, Mike,
We're getting there.
Yeah, well, I think we've got there. Closing comments, in actual fact. We brought the swivel chairs outside, so enjoy the fresh background. Now, the England game is going to be happening.
It is.
So we thought we'd take the time now to have a quick reflect on the whole event. I mean, there's still some bits going on. But what are your takeaways from these 2 days talking about HR software and recruitment? What do you take away from this?
I think for me there's been a few consistent themes. The first is focus on the people. It isn't about systems, it is about people. So go to where people are.
Yeah.
I think the other side of that is we need to realise that when we're engaging with people, whether they be employees in our business or whether they be potential employees, we need to use the type of technology and the type of language that they're used to and expect. So if they're going to be job hunting or learning via YouTube and various other things on a mobile device, in business, no matter what the system is, whether it be booking their holiday or applying for a job, it needs to be mobile friendly.
Yeah.
So we need to think about that sort of engagement and make it easy for people rather than hard. So we need to move away from the corporate thinking and think more about the user.
Yeah.
How do we keep them on board? How do we engage them? How do we connect with them?
Yeah, I think, picking up on that, my overall feeling is that pretty much everyone is talking about change right now in a way that they haven't really been talking about it in all the time I've been kind of covering this area, really. So there's a lot of emphasis on clearly the role of technology and how that's changing organisations and processes such as HR and recruitment. But there's also this huge impact of consumer technology and what that means for the consumer and then what that means for the organisation. And I think quite a lot of what's been talked about these past 2 days has really been kind of put in the context of that sort of change. And within that, what I find quite interesting, I think absolutely there's this new focus on what it is to be an individual, a human. The technology, interestingly, is changing the way we do things, but everyone's talking about, who are we doing this for, and what are their needs. So that's good. I think also there's just some interesting technology on the periphery. Some really good, some examples of the bots that are now being used to help people find information within organisations. I mean, this sort of stuff is really powerful and potentially could change the way people access information and find out stuff to help them do their jobs. So I think it's been quite an interesting couple of days. There's been a lot of talk about the trends. There's the focus on actually the needs of who we're doing this for, and how technology can actually help connect better with people. And I think there's just some new technology that's quite exciting and is changing some of these processes already.
And I think corporates quite often are using these technologies with their customers, with their consumers, but they're not necessarily turning it inwards and using it for employees and recruitment. And I think we need to be a little bit more open to this stuff because the world's changing and a lot of our systems just aren't yet. I think there's one other thing around data, use of data, where it is. The fact that at the moment it tends to be quite siloed and narrow and role focused. And I think there seems to be a trend, particularly with bots, with the ability to capture big data, for that to go wider across different functions, different departments, to add more value back to the business. And I think that's going to be something that's going to become more and more important. But not with big dashboards. I think we saw an interesting case earlier on with the banking app, which was you ask through a chat, you say, what is this, what is that, and then the bot responds back, as opposed to the dashboard of your bank statement, which you then got to hunt for the stuff yourself. So I think that as a model is quite interesting.
Well, look, I hope you've enjoyed our head-to-head talks as we sit on quite precariously on these swivel chairs. It's been interesting, and I've really enjoyed reflecting on the sessions as we've come out of them. So I found it quite useful, so I hope that you have, Mike. I hope everyone else has. So thanks for watching.
Thanks. Bye-bye.